I didn't think there'd be vampires on campus.
We must have been at about 40,000 feet when it happened.
What was that?
You are the Slayer. One girl in all the world.
Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Guess what? I feel better.
Guys, where are we?
Hi, Pat. How's it going?
Good, Sammy. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm just drinking some...
Oh, boy. What do we got on tap today?
It's another Sauv Blanc.
Okay.
Sauvignon Blanc. This one is Prophecy.
Oh.
I really like the labels. They're really cool. Like, it's like goddess kind of art.
Does it allow you to tell the future?
Well, we'll see when I finish this glass.
Yeah, we'll see
how my predictions go.
If they're like right on, that the stock of that wine's gonna go straight through the roof.
Straight through the roof.
Yep.
Yeah, the stock of this wine for everybody listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought some things home from my office.
Okay.
My studio to just dress up this office that I have at home a little bit and get rid of some excess stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever seen...
Oh, is that your Willow, what do they call those? Funko Pops?
Funko Pop. Yeah, this is my Willow.
Okay.
It's really hard for her to stand up because her head's so big and her legs are so tiny.
Gigantic head. I'm going to make a controversial statement here. Okay. I am not a fan of the Funko Pop stuff.
No? Why?
I just don't get it.
Did you ever have action figures?
Oh, yeah. But they were, like, proportional, and they had pupils, whereas Funko Pop does not and is not. I know people love them and, like, collect them and keep them in the boxes, but I can't, like, even the ones that I really like, say I find a Terminator one.
Right.
The head's too big.
Willow just fell over.
Yeah, exactly. See? This is what I'm talking about. They're very non-functional. I need them to be proportional. I need them to stand up. And they need to look like the character.
I will say I only have 2 Funko Pops. I can't show you the other one.
Why? Oh, it's a spoiler.
Because it's a spoiler.
Okay.
That one stands on its own. So I don't know if it's just maybe females that they give them the tiny little legs.
Legs?
Oh my, not this again? Come on, man. How do you say it?
Legs.
Legs.
Like, check out these legs.
Legs.
Legs?
I don't know. Now I'm going to have to find out how, like,
you got a
my
funky
family
accent.
says it. Because I don't know if it's a Connecticut thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or a New Britain thing or a Jensen thing.
And it's funny, the more that I edit the podcast, like, the more Sammy accent nuances that I pick up on. I mean, I'm sure I say weird things,
too. What else?
Like, I say room weird.
Yes, you do, and I made fun of you for that.
I also have been told that I say TV weird. Like, let's go watch TV.
Oh, yeah, you put a little extra emphasis on V.
Yeah, and people say, like, no, it's supposed to be TV or something. And I say TV.
TV, phone, home.
Exactly, TV, phone, home.
That makes sense.
Oh, man. Well, welcome, everybody, to Kicking and Streaming, Episode 8.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Pat?
What have I been up to?
Since we last recorded.
I've been very busy at work. Work has been extra busy, but it is almost wrapping up the year. It's almost Thanksgiving as we're recording this, so hopefully things slow down now.
This week.
And we can enjoy ourselves a little bit more and get into this show a little bit more.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Staying home. Staying in, as the CDC recommends.
Just you and Amy and the kids?
Yep, just me and the direct fam. We're staying in, we're cooking a big dinner, and we're just going to hang out and do family things. It'll be a fun day. Yeah.
Are you making a turkey?
We're going to make a giant chicken.
Oh, we are going to pick up a chicken, a rotisserie chicken.
Nice. Boston Market.
And it'll probably be, no, we'll just go to like our grocery store has the rotisserie chicken. So we'll just go there.
That's a solid move.
I wanted to, well, I didn't want to roast the chicken. I wanted Dave to roast the chicken because he's a way better cook than I am. I mean, I would have liked that would have been a nice thing for us to do together. But we we don't have a roasting pan. We had one on our registry, but because we postponed our wedding and didn't have a wedding shower or anything like that, we didn't get any of our registry gifts. So had to wait another whole year for that roasting pan.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Those roasting pans, it's like you think you really won't use it that much, but we roast a chicken every once in a while.
It's so good.
Yeah, roasting the chicken's where it's at.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Cool. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're like small turkey or big chicken, and we decide big chicken, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think chicken's better anyway.
Ooh, hot take. A lot of people like turkeys more.
Well, I'm not like for Thanksgiving, sure, whatever. Give me either.
I guess it's tradition.
But generally speaking, I'm more into, just more into chicken.
I guess I am too.
I just feel like you can do more with chicken and you don't fall asleep after eating it.
Yeah.
Unless you eat too much, as with any meal.
Too much brownies, fall asleep. Too much cereal, fall asleep. Too much turkey, fall asleep.
Too much chicken.
Too much chicken, fall asleep.
Cool. This was fun.
Yeah.
Well, it was great talking to you, Pat.
Yeah, great. Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks, everybody, for joining Kicking and Streaming. We'll see you next week. All right, we got to talk about some shows first.
Yeah. Let's talk about Buffy.
Let's talk about Buffy.
So we are on Season 1, Episode 8 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I, Robot, You, Jane.
Such a silly title.
It's obviously, it's a play on two things. Do you know which two things?
Tarzan.
I'm sure you can guess one of them. Yep.
Tarzan, yep.
So Tarzan is one of them.
And then I, Robot is like the Will Smith movie.
Yeah. Well, so it was a book.
And
Isaac Asimov.
Oh.
And it was turned into, a movie with Will Smith, which I never saw.
I was also going to say Roombas are made by a company called iRobot, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not fancy enough to have a Roomba.
I don't have a Roomba either.
Oh, like iRobot, like little I.
Yeah.
Capital R, like iPhone.
Right.
Maybe.
Probably not 1997, though.
I don't think so. They barely had computers, as we see in this. I don't think they could figure that out quite yet. It was written by Ashley Gable and Thomas A. Swiden. Sweden. I'm guessing it's Swiden because it's with a Y and not another E.
This is my favorite part of the show every week is when we try to pronounce the showrunners' names.
Directed by, you know what? One of these days they're going to give me an easy one and you won't have anything to make fun of me for. I won't have to say eggs or legs or Swiden.
It'd just be the John Brown. And you're like, thank you, John Brown.
Thank you. God damn it. Directed by Stephen Posey. This was the only episode he directed, but he has also directed 2 episodes of Xena Warrior Princess and some other things, but that I just found a little bit more relevant. Mm-hmm. So your prediction from last episode is that Angel will come back, but not often. Mm-hmm. Colin / Mini-Me, as you called him.
Yeah.
The anointed one becomes more annoying, and he is the bad guy Buffy fights in the season finale.
I was trying to think of a pun for like annoying and anointed one, like annoying
the annoying one?
The annoying one.
How about that?
It's not bad. I mean, it's right on the nose, but yeah.
The annoying one. Maybe that I wonder if somebody, I mean, that feels like a real Buffy or Xander thing to say at some point. So we'll see. We'll see if that comes back.
Ooh.
Giles and Buffy's, you also predicted that Giles and Buffy's mom awkwardly go on a few dates. Buffy doesn't like it, and it doesn't work out.
I love every episode is me trying to figure out when Giles is gonna hook up with somebody in town. And this episode is no different, but we'll get into that once we get there.
Okay. And just one, you had a lot of like long-term predictions, but one that you had more recently is that a revolving door of guest actors will play different principals. And 2 episodes later, there's still no principal.
No principal, no mention of.
No idea who's running this school.
Nobody's even talking about Flutie's dismissal or death.
Yeah, they're just, they move on just like they moved on after what's his name died. What was Xander? Xander and Willow's friend? Jesse.
Oh, yeah, Jesse. Jesse died. They don't talk about that at all.
No, Xander kicks a trash can and then they move on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very upset.
All right, so let's dig into the episode.
Yeah.
This episode is very, very 90s. So,
very
you know,
90s.
it's 97, or I guess probably, you know, when they're filming this, 96. And computers are starting to actually become personal in that, you know, an increasing number of households have them and students are learning to use them in school and computer labs.
Yep.
According to the U.S. Census, 37% of homes in the U.S. had at least one computer in 1997, and that shot up to 42% in 98. Wow. 18% had internet access in 97, and that went up to 26% in 1998. By 2000, so only 3 years after this episode aired, 51% of homes had a computer and 42% had internet. So, of course, Buffy's got to tackle computers and, you know, have a cautionary tale about computer usage.
Yeah.
Naturally. The episode opens up in Cortona, Italy, which is a real place. It's a little hilltop town in Tuscany.
Ooh.
In 1418, with a demon asking a man named Carlo if he loves him. Carlo says he loves him, and the demon snaps Carlo's neck. And I gotta say, the demon makeup on this guy is really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know.
You don't agree?
I think it's pretty good, but it looks.
I thought it was really good.
I don't know. I guess it's. Yeah, I guess it's good.
For the 90s, like
Yeah.
it didn't. To me, it didn't. Like to me, I felt like you could take that guy, you could take that demon, put him in something today, and it would fit.
Yeah, I think it just looked a little too cliche for me. Like
Okay,
demon,
a little
like
too demon-y.
Yeah,
Like that's what a kid draws.
Yeah, like if you're gonna draw in your notebook what a demon might look like, be like, yeah, that guy, you know, like give me a little something original, you know. I guess
Well,
that's what they
is-
do later on in the episode, but even that, I was like, what's up with this?
Well, this is the first time we're seeing a demon.
That's
So
true.
keep that in mind. You know,
Okay.
maybe they wanted to, you know, maybe they had a kid, Joss Whedon's nephew, someone, I don't know, draw a demon. And he had it on his fridge and he's like, you know what? This is it. This
It's
is
going
the
in the
first
show.
demon.
This
It's going
show's
in the
never
show.
going to be sold anyways, so I'll put whatever I
saying
want in this
that.
show.
All right. Well, whatever. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So then we cut to some monks. So we're still in Italy, 1418. Cut to some monks gathered. One of them is holding a big old book and saying in subtitles, "It's Moloch the corrupter. He walks again. More and more people have fallen under his mesmerizing power. There is still time to bind him. We must form the circle." They form a circle with the book-holding monk in the middle. Moloch explodes into balls of light.
Ooh,
and
they're playing Monk in the middle.
Oh, God. Oh,
Stupid.
okay. So stupid.
So stupid. Sorry for that. Move along.
Moloch explodes into little balls and fragments of light and then gets sort of like put into the book and is kind of like written into the pages of the book. So all of a sudden these words or
Hieroglyphs.
symbols,
Yeah.
hieroglyphs appear in the book.
Yeah.
The monk says, "Pray that this accursed book is never read again, lest the demon Moloch be loosed upon the world." And he puts it in a box, puts the book in a box.
Right.
And then we cut to Buffy opening up the box with the Moloch book inside. Giles says he hasn't gone through it, but it can go into a pile for Willow to skin it.
So we're in the library at this point, right?
Yes.
And I was kind of thrown off, like I missed something because there were so many characters in the library all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they all had computers, and there was a bunch of computer nerds, and some of them were very intense,
Super intense.
like Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz is real intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Calendar corrects Giles and says, "Scan it." Not, not skin it. And then she said, "Oh, I know our ways are strange to you, but soon you will join us in the 20th century with 3 whole years to spare." Giles calls what?
I don't know. It's Sometimes I don't really like grasp what the
it's just written too intelligently
it's
for you.
It's just so smart, just the writing. So it just washes over me when I watch it sometimes, and then hearing you recite it back to me is like when it actually like hits me. Or I'm like, interesting writing. Okay, go ahead.
Giles calls the computer an idiot box, and Miss Calendar is like, no, the TV is the idiot box.
Yeah, everybody knows that, Giles.
Yeah, come on. And then Super Intense Fritz says the printed page is obsolete. Information isn't bound up anymore. It's an entity. The only reality is virtual. If you're not jacked in, you're not alive. And then he just like gets up and storms out.
Yeah, he's very intense, very passionate. I appreciate the passion. Yeah, the technical, geekery.
Yeah, but who says if you're not jacked in? Nobody says that.
Somebody who's really
I don't think
pumped
anybody
up about
has ever
computers.
said that.
He's really pumped up about computers and the net, and the future is bright. This Fritz guy, he had a lot going for him.
He's on the Fritz to me, I think.
Oh boy.
So yeah, he's creepy. I feel like they should keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because Miss Calendar is kind of like, he's a little intense, but so, like, thanks for making us all look crazy. Mm-hmm. And then she's, she kind of is like to Giles, more email was sent in the last 2 years than regular mail. And then she calls the class a wrap, but Willow says that she'll hang around for a bit. She asks Xander for help, but he's more interested in running after Buffy, of course. And Giles, holding a book, says, I'll be back in the Middle Ages, indicating that he's going to go put a book back in the Middle Ages section. But Miss Calendar says, did you ever leave? So I like Miss Calendar. She's sassy.
We've never met her before, right?
Nope.
This
she's
is the first
new.
time? Okay.
So Willow scans in the Moloch book, and as she does, the words on the pages disappear, but she's too busy looking at the screen to notice that the words are or the hieroglyphs, as you said, are disappearing off the page.
Yeah, and when they're disappearing off the page, it reminded me of a show from the 90s called Ghost Rider. Did you ever watch Ghost Rider? Yeah. I remember.
Oh my God.
That was very Ghost Rider, when like a ghost would write in the book or the journal or whatever, and then they'd have to follow clues or something. I don't remember the show. But
I don't remember. I vaguely remember about as much as you do.
Yeah, but that's what it reminded me of. Like, ooh, very Ghost Rider.
But like, it's the opposite.
Right. It's disappearing all the words.
I heard that you could use your urine to write messages on paper, and then you shine it over a light, and then it shows up. Just go ahead and cut this part. Because I'm going to have to look it up. Someone's going to prove me wrong and just be like, no, it's only, the urine of corgi dogs or something crazy
Sammy,
specific.
after the podcast, Dear Mythbusters, I tried writing in my notebook in urine thinking that it was going to be strictly confidential.
Dear Mythbusters, this is my 20th email to you. After you didn't write me back about the lost plane debacle,
I am now peeing in my notebooks trying to see if I can conceal secret notes to myself.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and move right on from that.
Okay.
A black screen appears after Willow is scanning the book. Black screen appears on her computer with white text that's typed out, "Where am I?" Guys. Where am I?
Where am I? Charlie, are you in
it's
the
Charlie.
computer?
That's what I thought of. I'm like, I know it's not Charlie, but that should, like, as soon as I saw that, that's what popped in my head.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy if the shows somehow tied together and you and I didn't see it coming?
It would be the best thing.
Yeah.
It would be the best thing. I mean, there's already been a couple of close ones. We had cadavers in Buffy and Jack finding a coffin.
Right.
In Lost, we had we've got the Razorbacks as the Sunnydale High mascot, and they're killing Razorback boars on the Lost Island. So
there's a couple crossovers.
Yeah. I don't think anyone who's in Lost is in Buffy, though, but you never know. We'll have to,
we'll see.
have to keep watching. So back from the intro, Willow is walking in a dreamy love daze as Buffy tries to get her attention at school. Buffy asks what was up with Willow's line. She tried calling her like 1,000,000 times.
So she has dial-up.
For our listeners, too young to remember, before we had DSL and cable internet, we had dial-up internet, which used your phone line to connect to the World Wide Web.
And a phone line, for those who don't understand, is a hard line of which you would have to actually subscribe to a company, and the line would actually have to connect like a wire.
Oh, yeah.
Copper wire would physically connect to a big chunky phone.
I didn't even think about explaining phone lines.
Yeah.
Good call, Pat.
Yeah.
So, but basically you couldn't be on the phone and the internet at the same time.
That internet was so slow. I mean, it was great at the
yeah.
time because it was better than nothing, which is all we had before. But
can you imagine trying to stream? I mean, you couldn't. There's no way. There's no way it would happen.
There's no streaming anything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
you couldn't even
pictures.
Play video games
you could,
online.
click a picture and it would take like 26 seconds to load.
Yeah.
Like line by line.
Those were the days that you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go to this website. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get myself a snack. And then I'm going to come back and the website will be loaded. Can you imagine dealing with that today?
I cannot imagine.
Oh. Thank goodness
but it's better
for
than
DSL.
Books.
What? Oh, okay. So you're a Miss Calendar in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm a staunch Giles.
No, I'm sort of in the middle. I like books.
Yeah, I
mean,
am
look,
too.
I got some behind me.
Yeah, wow. Those are real books.
Doesn't mean I actually
Have
read
you
them.
ever opened them?
No.
They're just there. They're not even real books. They're just like
It's just a facade.
yeah. It's just for all I know, that's a painting back
Yeah.
there. Or a photo of books.
This is a
that you
virtual
just printed
background,
out.
actually. It's the messiest,
Oh, you can do better than that.
virtual background ever.
All right. So anyway, internet was rough back then.
Yeah.
Buffy says, "You have a secret, and that's not allowed." Willow says she met someone a week ago when scanning the books.
Yeah.
And
Malcolm.
Buffy says, "Does he go here? What's his name? Have you kissed him? What's he like?" Willow says, "No." Malcolm, "No," and very nice. Willow says he's smart and romantic. They agree about everything. But when Buffy asks what he looks like, Willow says, "I don't know," which leaves Buffy looking puzzled.
Yeah.
And then in the computer lab, Fritz and a student named Dave are looking super intense. And
Yeah.
Dave says to the screen, "Yes, I will. I promise." Then Buffy and Willow enter, still talking about Willow's mystery man, Malcolm. Buffy says, "So you've been seeing a guy and you don't know what he looks like. Okay, this is a puzzle. No, wait, I'm good at these. Does it involve a midget and a block of ice?" I had no idea what she was talking about here, so I had to look it up.
Okay.
And of course, the good people of Reddit, had the answers.
Right.
It's actually 2 riddles that were popular at the time. She's combining 2 of these riddles. So one is, every day a man who lives on the top floor of an apartment building takes the elevator down to go to work, but every night he takes the stairs up. Why?
Takes the elevator down, but the stairs.
But when he comes home from work, he takes the stairs up. Why?
Because.
I know you can do this. I can
Does it
see
have to do with a block of ice?
I can see it in your eyes. No. Not
It
this
doesn't.
one. No.
Okay. So a man.
Do you want me to say Buffy's line again? Man, those wheels are really turning.
The elevator. I like riddles, but usually I can never solve them.
Do you want me to just
I
tell
just like
you?
to puzzle over them.
Or are we going to sit here for 20 minutes?
All right, fine. Just tell me.
So he has dwarfism, and he can reach the first floor button, but not the top floor button.
Oh, yeah. I
So he can reach the first floor when he's going down.
That takes a lot of steps of thinking. I would have never gotten there.
Yeah, well, that's why he takes the steps.
Right.
Going
that
back
makes sense.
home.
Okay.
So then the second riddle is, a man commits suicide in a room with nothing but a length of rope and a puddle of water. How did he do it?
He stood on a block of ice and it melted.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a slow, long death.
Yeah, that's not going to really work. That's
No.
not, you don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
anyway, but
It's
those
not
are the riddles.
recommended way to kill yourself.
Well, not by hanging anyway. Not
Yeah.
if, I mean, that's That's not how it works.
All right, let's not go down this road. It's too dark.
Let's not go down this road. Okay. But anyway, those are the two riddles that Buffy's referencing when she says, does it involve a midget and a block of ice? Because I was just like, I gotta know what this is.
Yeah.
I gotta know what this is.
Okay, well, thanks for looking into that, because
yeah.
I didn't know what she's talking about. The only thing that hit me was, ooh, can't say midget anymore.
Yes. So that's why the thing that I found on Reddit says he has dwarfism.
Right.
So that's a nice way of putting it.
Yes.
Willow says that she met this guy online. Then she turns on the computer and she has an email from Malcolm.
You have mail.
That
There's a
doesn't
nice
happen.
long pause in between.
Does that happen yet? I know it happens later. I can't remember if that happened.
It happens right there because I wrote it down.
Yeah. You can't say you've got mail because that's an AOL trademark.
You have mail.
I don't even know if AOL was around at this point.
Oh, yeah. It was around.
With all the CDs.
All the CDs.
Buffy urges Willow to slow down and asks, she's like, what do you really know about this guy?
Yeah.
And then, the webcam is being controlled and someone is looking through the webcam and, looking at Buffy and Willow so we can kind of see them through the webcam.
Yeah. That webcam looked like homemade, too. Looked like a paper mache webcam. It's like all jankety.
It's a public
with
school,
a hole in
so
it. Yeah.
yeah, it does look like a baseball. That's how they looked, though.
Yeah.
They were like super round.
Right, but that one was extra janky.
Yeah, a computer in the other room opens up Buffy's school records.
Right.
It looks like it's in another room anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The file is then opened up on Fritz's computer with a message that says, watch her.
And Fritz is just like, okay,
yeah.
Digital darkness.
Digital darkness. Ooh, I like that. Buffy is still warning Willow to be cautious and that looks do matter. And she's like, what if you guys get, really intense and then you find out that he has a hairy back?
Buffy being very surface level again. She's being very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Shallow?
Shallow.
So Willow says, he doesn't talk like somebody who would have a hairy back. Which I was like, what does that sound like?
Is this something that girls actually worry about? Men with hairy backs?
I don't think I ever worried about it. I don't think I ever worried about that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. And anyways, that stuff doesn't matter when you really care about each other. Maybe I'm not his ideal either. And Buffy goes, hey, I'm just trying to make sure that he's good enough for you. I think it's great that you met someone. I get what Buffy's saying. Like, maybe in high school, it doesn't matter so much, but or maybe, I don't know. But you still need to be semi-attracted to a person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And, in high school, they're probably not really thinking that, but there still needs to be some level of attraction. And I don't think Buffy knows how to say that without it coming off as a little bit shallow, but
yeah, I think
that's
attraction
a big part
can
of
be
a relationship.
on different levels too, because you can be physically attracted to somebody, looking at somebody and being like, oh yeah, but you can also just be really drawn to somebody, be like, oh yeah, I'm just drawn to their sense of humor or their personality, something like that. So maybe that would override the looks, but it probably depends on the person. Because I'm sure it's a ratio for a lot of people.
Yeah, right. I mean, because you could be super attracted to someone in a physical way and then their personality blows. And then you're like, you know what? I can't make this work.
Yes. Yep.
That happens a lot too.
That happens a lot.
Because, when you look really good, you don't have to have a personality to get by most of the time.
Sometimes. Yeah.
So, you can get pretty far.
Right. But
that's why you and I have great personalities.
Because why?
What? I'm just going to move on. Okay, Miss Calendar approaches Fritz. Miss Calendar approaches Fritz and observes that he and Dave are clocking a pretty scary amount of computer time. And Fritz says it's for a new project. She says, will I be excited? And he goes, you'll die.
Fritz is so intense.
What the hell?
He is the ultimate brooder.
Yeah. You mean more than Owen?
Oh, he's brooding much harder than Owen.
What about Angel?
Owen's like a dumb brooder. He's just like, duh.
What about Angel?
Oh, Angel's pretty hard brood, but he's sexy brood.
Yeah.
But Fritz is hardcore,
creepy brood.
Straight up creepy brood, which is like the ultimate brood.
What's the ultimate brood, like in a bad way or a good way? Like,
I mean, if you're brooding,
you want to
be like brooding has like a bit of darkness to it, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I feel like the darker the brood, the more authentic the brood, right? Mm-hmm. The better brooder you are, the darker you are, right? Like Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd always brooding, very dark.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the best brooder.
So where would you put Fritz on the level of somewhere between Angel and Sweeney Todd? Like Sweeney Todd is all the way at the end?
Yeah, Sweeney Todd's the ultimate brood. Fritz is one rung below that. Okay.
And Angel's maybe another rung below, and Owen's like
Angel's
4
like 2 or
levels
3,
down.
and then like Owen's barely brooding.
All right. Well, I think we should make a scale to show this level of brooding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brood scale.
It could be a poster that we could sell.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I'll write it
Where
down.
would you put yourself on the brooding scale?
Oh, it depends on my mood. Because some days I don't brood
Are you in
whatsoever.
the mood to brood?
Now that's a bumper sticker we could sell. Yeah. I feel like I'm brooding more tonight than normal.
Oh.
I have a level of brood, right?
Yeah. I could see that, sure.
Look at this brood face.
Wow, that's a brood face. Do
Extra
women brood? Or is it just a man thing?
No, there's broodettes. For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not restricted to men.
I think we're just going to need to see an example at some point of a brooding female. And we'll
find one. Definitely in this show at some point. Darla probably broods pretty hard before she got dusted.
Yeah. She's not brooding anymore. Mm-mm. All right. So out in the courtyard, that beautiful Sunnydale High courtyard.
Yeah.
A kid with what I can't believe is a laptop. Must be a laptop.
This is not a laptop. This is like this is a word processor.
Okay.
This is barely a laptop.
But that's what it was. It didn't even have
a screen. It had like a little flip up digitized screen where it's like a speak and spell. It's like a Mr. Spell. That's what that is.
Well, he goes, "Hey, this isn't my report." And he like starts reading about how Nazi Germany was a well-ordered society.
And I'm like, who are you talking to?
He's talking to his word processor, his speak and spell.
His speak and spell. It's also a listen and spell. It's like, okay, I hear you.
Nazi Germany was a well-ordered society. He's like, no, dude. So I wrote, good thing he checked that before handing it in.
Yeah.
Xander, always got to check your work. Xander catches up with Willow, who turns down going to the Bronze for a night in. Mm-hmm. What? I wrote, turns down going to the Bronze for a night in with Willow.
I mean,
she's
that's
gonna
accurate.
Have a night in with herself.
She does have a night in with herself and the computer.
I think I meant to write Malcolm there.
Oh, yeah.
He asks Buffy, and before she can answer, he gets all mopey. And he says that she probably has important slaying to do, and he complains that everybody deserts him.
Yeah, he's a little jealous.
He's a little jealous. Then he also expresses concern over Malcolm, saying that anyone can say that they're a high school student or anyone they want. I can also say that I'm an elderly Dutch woman. Get me? I mean, who's to say that I'm not if I'm in the elderly Dutch chat room? Right.
Yeah, and he's worried about her getting catfished.
Yes. Right. They didn't have a term for it back then, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
So Buffy starts panicking, and then she kind of scolds Xander for getting her started, about freaking out.
Yeah.
And they kind of walk off.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the computer lab where Fritz is staring at a computer screen, repeating, "I'm jacked in."
Yeah, this is wild. He keeps repeating, "I'm jacked in, I'm jacked in, I'm jacked in." And he's cutting an M. He's cutting an M into his arm.
He's cutting an M into in his arm.
Yeah. That's hardcore. Only hardcore brooders would do that.
Yeah, that is some intense brooding.
Yeah.
So the next day, Willow breezes into school late. 5th period late. Not just like 20 minutes late, to not go to homeroom class or something.
Right.
But
Very unwillow.
5th period late. Very unwillow. She says she overslept because she was up late talking to Malcolm, who she now refers to as her boyfriend.
Right. My boyfriend.
And then Willow is bummed that Buffy isn't happy for her. Buffy says she just wants Willow to meet him face to face in daylight in a public place with some friends. And Willow says, Malcolm and I really care about each other. Big deal if I blow off a couple of classes. And Buffy said, I thought you overslept.
Yeah.
So
that
she called
doesn't
Willow
hold
in her
up to your
lie.
story there, Willow.
Willow, what is going on?
She's in love with a computer demon.
Well, who?
I mean, I'm just guessing.
Buffy enters computer lab where Dave is totally into what he's doing on the computer, not paying attention to anything. He jolts when Buffy touches him. She tries to get his attention a couple times and he doesn't answer, so she touches him.
Dave is intense.
He's not like I'm jacked in intense, but
no, he's more like freaked out.
Yeah. She asks if you can trace a letter. She keeps saying letter, but she means email to the actual location of a sender. Mm-hmm. And then she starts to say that she's worried about Willow, and then Dave becomes super serious and tells Buffy to leave Willow alone, that it's none of her business.
Yeah.
Buffy asks if Dave is Malcolm, and he says, of course not. And then he dismisses her. As she leaves the lab, we see Fritz looking mighty pissed. So like we didn't see Fritz does. Yeah. We didn't see him before, but then like once she leaves, the camera pans over.
Sure.
I don't know what angle it goes, but it looks over and we see Fritz and he's looking pissed off. Mm-hmm. So Buffy brings her concerns to Giles. She says she's worried about Willow, but also Dave, Fritz, they're all wicked jumpy. Giles says those boys aren't sparklingly normal as it is. He admits he really doesn't know how to advise her on this because it's, computers and that's not his realm. Mm-hmm. He says, things involved with a computer fill me with a childlike terror. Now, if it were a nice ogre or some such, I'd be more in my element. And then he suggests that she tail Dave. And Buffy's like, what, in dark glasses and a trench coat? Please. But then she does exactly that.
Yeah, she actually puts it on.
Another one of those fun smash cuts.
Nice smash cut there.
So she follows Dave to some lab-looking place called CRD. A security camera picks her up, so it like moves and sees Buffy.
It zooms in and enhances.
Yeah, zooms and enhances. Mm-hmm. Shows the footage to Fritz and then tells him to kill her, and he goes party, which I feel like is a SoCal thing.
I loved that. I was like, did he just say party? That's
not
what Fritz would say, though.
Maybe. He's crazy.
He's also
a wild card.
He's semi-possessed, right? Like
I don't know.
Isn't like he possessed by the demon, or is he just enveloped by the digital darkness?
I think he's enveloped by the digital darkness.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone here said party. I'm pretty sure that's a SoCal thing.
Party. I mean,
I don't know. I didn't witness that.
People said party on after like Wayne's World.
Party on, schoolgirl.
But not party by itself.
Yeah.
Party.
Like I said, I think it's a Southern California thing.
But
anyway,
Fritz has never been to a party. Let's be real.
Hey, maybe goes to internet parties. Maybe he goes to chat room parties. Maybe he had LAN parties.
LAN parties. Yeah, total LAN parties. I mean, that's all the internet was basically, was LANs.
Yeah. Local area network.
Got it.
Boom.
Man, you and Fritz would have hit it off.
No.
Yeah.
Too weird for me. Too intense.
But also slightly mysterious.
Well, he's got that.
He's got a little something. I can't quite put my finger on.
I think I could change him.
Yeah. Sounds like a nice project for me.
So high school Sammy. At school the next day, Buffy tells Giles and Xander what she found, and Xander tells them that CRD stands for Calyx Research and Development. It's a computer research lab, third largest employer in Sunnydale till it closed down last year. And he's like, everyone's kind of looking at him. He's like, what, I can't have information sometimes? And he knows all this because his uncle used to work there.
Yeah.
In a floor sweeping capacity, I believe is what he says.
Yeah. Which is an honest job.
Yep. Buffy says it looked pretty functional to her, that her spider sense is tingling. So we got another Spider-Man reference here. She and Xander plan to break into CRD that night. Giles tries to warn them off the plan, but as he does, Miss Calendar walks in and observes, says something like that, Buffy and Xander must really like the library. Buffy goes, we're literary. Xander goes, to read makes our speaking English good.
Yeah, that
She's
was
like,
really
come
funny.
on, man.
That was
Buffy
really
kind of
funny.
drags him out of the library after that.
Xander putting his foot in his mouth.
Oh, yeah. Willow is in the computer lab talking to Malcolm, who now we can hear his voice.
Yeah.
And it's eerily similar to Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Which gets even deeper a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malcolm makes reference to Buffy being kicked out of school, which gives Willow pause because she's like, I didn't tell him that. How do you know that?
That's what tips her off. She's like, there's something up with my computer boyfriend.
Yeah. Malcolm. So she becomes suspicious and signs off. In the library, Miss Calendar and Giles are arguing about the attainment of knowledge. And Miss Calendar says, oh, you are a big snob. You think that knowledge should be kept in these carefully guarded repositories where only a handful of white guys can get at it. Which I thought was very interesting. This is one reason I like Miss Calendar. She's very clearly like feminist and liberal.
She cuts to the chase, this Miss Calendar.
Cuts to the chase.
Yeah.
But it's also really, to me, I was like, this is kind of interesting to think about the attainment of knowledge in the context of today, right? Because like here we are in a pandemic. Schools are struggling with, virtual versus in-person teaching during this pandemic time, which is better for the kids, which is better for their health and their development. And one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with is not having the resources, i.e. not having a computer or high-speed internet, or even a place at home where a kid can actually study and do homework quietly.
Yeah, and back then in 97, computers cost like as much as a car. Like it was really expensive to get one of these big dumb computers that were slow. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like kind of interesting thinking about that argument in the context of today. Because like, yeah, of course we want people to have access to knowledge and be able to attain it through the easiest method. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the easiest or most accessible method is a computer and the internet.
Yeah, I think it's getting
still
easier
books.
and easier now just because things are more accessible and devices and tablets and phones are everywhere at this point. Mm-hmm. So I think it is getting a little bit easier, but everybody has different home lives too. So just remote learning in general adds just a lot of restraints to certain people's lives just because of their home life.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just found that kind of interesting.
Yep. It's a weird conundrum.
Miss Calendar is like, we're creating a new society here. And Giles says, a society in which human interaction is all but obsolete, in which people can be completely manipulated by technology. Well, thank you, I'll pass. Yeah. Which is also super interesting because Giles totally called it. Technology has isolated us. Like, sure, it's brought us together and like here you and I are doing Zoom, right?
It's also divided a lot of us.
But it's also divided a lot of us. So I don't know. It was just really interesting. Like here's kind of like the dawn of like personal computers and like internet and everything happening that we're watching. And like here, now we're 23 years later and it's like a wild frontier.
It's a wild frontier.
All right. Miss Calendar opens the Moloch book, finds that all the pages are blank. Giles sees the cover, becomes distracted, and walks into his office. Cut to the beautiful outside hallways, and we see a nurse talking to a man. We don't know who. And she says, I checked the computer and there's nothing in his file about being allergic to penicillin. So we're starting to see like things happening with computers,
Yeah.
This guy's report about Germany to penicillin. Like, that's, someone could die if they're allergic to penicillin and they're giving it.
Not to go back to that guy on the stairs with his stupid speak and spell, but what, does he have Wi-Fi? I mean, come on. How did it get into his thing? He didn't have like a modem line plugged into his laptop. I'm going to put in quotes.
That's
heavy
a good point.
Quotes.
That's a good point. Well, they talk about that kind of a little bit later, but you might have a good point, but I don't know. Buffy catches up with Dave, who apologized to her and, is like, sorry for earlier.
Not being myself.
Yeah, haven't been sleeping or something. He tells her that Willow is looking for her, that she's in the girls' locker room, which is where all the things happen. That's where we found the dead body in the first episode.
Yeah. I would never go in there just thinking it might be haunted.
Yeah. Cordelia threatened Amy.
Yeah.
In The Witch. In
Dark Place.
Witch, not The Witch.
In The Witch.
Nope, just Witch.
No, it's The Witch, for sure.
And then we see Fritz in
in the shower.
Black leather jacket.
Yeah, so cool. That's only what the Brooders wear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Angel had one. He gave it to Buffy.
Exactly,
but
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that's how you know.
You can't brood without your leather jacket.
I guess not.
Top
but you
tier.
know what? Remember I tried on a leather jacket and I sent you a photo when we were doing our photo shoot and I was like, I don't think I can pull this off.
Yeah, you tried.
So I guess I'm not a brooder.
No. Brudette.
So he turns on the shower and then we see there are, some snipped electrical wires on the floor where the water is getting kind of closer and closer to them. Mm-hmm. Then Dave warns Buffy in the nick of time. She's like going to turn off the shower, standing in the water, and she kind of gets like blown off her feet.
She gets zapped.
She gets zapped.
She does a big leap.
Yeah, big old leap.
Yep.
Then Dave heads back to the computer lab saying he can't do it.
Yeah, he yells at the computer. The
computer tries to convince him to follow through. When he refuses,
this is when the computer actually calls him Dave, which is his name.
Yeah, but yes.
So this is very 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Dave. Yeah. And when he refuses, the computer writes a suicide note for him. And then we see Fritz lurking in the background.
This was very spooky.
Yeah, so it got very dark.
Yeah.
Very dark.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah. So we cut to the library. Xander says he's going to kill Dave for setting up Buffy. Giles brings out the Moloch book, explaining that demons used to be trapped in books where they would remain harmless unless the pages were read aloud.
And Buffy's worried about her hair.
Yeah. Buffy's like, how's my hair? And Xander's like, it's the best hair I've ever seen or something.
Unbelievable.
She's got her priorities.
Yeah.
Giles says, unless I'm mistaken, this is Moloch the Corrupter, a very deadly and seductive demon. He draws people to him with promises of love, power, knowledge, preys on impressionable minds.
I think I was trying to type too fast and I wrote Moloch the Destroyer. That is not correct.
That is not correct.
He's the corrupter.
He's the corrupter.
Yeah.
He corrupts and then they destroy.
Right. Fritz destroys. Fritz the Destroyer.
Fritz is the destroyer.
Fritz the brooder.
Mm-hmm.
Brooding destroyer.
Yeah. They realize that the scanner read the book and therefore put Moloch into the computers. Buffy says, he's gone binary on us.
Yup, he's everywhere because of the modem, the internets.
Yep. In the computer that it was scanned into, and then every computer connected to it by a modem. So this is where, potentially the guy with the large quotes laptop got it on his computer because maybe at some point he connected his computer.
Right. He did a little send receive.
Yeah. So even though at that moment he wasn't connected to the modem, if he ever connected to the modem at Sunnydale High, there's Malcolm.
Yep,
Moloch.
That's right.
Moloch, I mean. They figure that they can get rid of it by deleting the file. Buffy finds a folder named Willow, tries to delete it.
Just put it in the trash.
Yeah, which is how you delete things on a Mac.
That's true.
Then Moloch pops up. We actually see him in a very pixelated video.
Very pixelated.
Like the old, green demon.
Mm-hmm.
Your picture of what a demon should look like pops on the screen and says, "Stay away from Willow. It's none of your business."
Right.
Buffy kind of screams, and then Xander thinks they're overreacting. He's like, he's in a computer. What can he do? So Buffy and Giles kind of list off a few things. Buffy's, you mean besides convince a perfectly nice kid to try and kill me? I don't know. How about mess up all the medical equipment in the world? Giles says randomized traffic signals. Buffy says access launch codes for nuclear missiles. And then Giles says destroy the world's economy. Yeah. So then they're like, all right. Xander's like, okay, I'm on board. This is bad. Yeah. So they decide to try and find Willow. Buffy goes to the computer lab and all the computers turn on. Yeah, and then she turns around and she bumps into Dave.
Dave's a swinging.
Who's hanging with a suicide note on him.
His note on his tummy.
No puddle of water below him.
Nope.
So she returns to the library to tell Giles and Xander. She tells Giles to find a way to get Moloch out of the net. Giles says he has records of ceremonies, but they're all for demons of the flesh. Flesh and blood demons. And Buffy's like, well, get Miss Calendar to help. And, figure it out. Then Buffy and Xander leave to go to Willow's house. Then we cut to Willow coming home. She goes into her bedroom. Her computer says she has mail. She sees this from Malcolm.
Mail.
You have mail. And the note from Malcolm says, no more waiting. I need you to see me.
Yeah.
She turns off the computer because she's still kind of, freaked out.
Yeah,
she needs a little space.
Yeah, he knows too much.
Yeah. So she turns off the computer, but then it turns back on and again says she has mail. Her doorbell rings, goes down to check it, but no one is there. She turns away and Fritz does the old chloroform napkin trick.
It's so funny. Again, with the notes, I wrote, Fritz pulls the old chloroform gag. It's classic. Classic chloroform gag.
I mean, I guess he doesn't say, hey, does this smell weird? He just does it. But still.
Just sneaks up on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Miss Calendar. So we cut to Miss Calendar entering Giles's office. He struggles. He's struggling with kind of beating around the bush on how to tell her that there's a demon in the internet, but then he just kind of comes out and says it. Mm-hmm. And she says, I know. And it's like, oh, shit. Okay. Then Buffy and Xander arrive at Willow's where her door is open, but no one is home. They see the email on her computer and they decide to go to CRD. Back in the library, Giles asks how Miss Calendar knows about the demon on the internet. And she's kind of like, come on, there have been portents for days. I mean, power surges, online shutdowns. You should see the bones I've been casting. Then she then launches into a very Giles-like monologue about what it might be. Giles tells her it's Moloch and she's like, oh, okay. She kind of seems to know exactly what he's talking about. And he goes, you don't seem exactly surprised. Who are you? She says, I teach computer science at the local high school. And he says, a profession that hardly lends itself to the casting of bones, which if you don't know is a real form of scrying or divination, where you take a handful of usually small animal bones and you kind of shake them in your hands like dice and throw them again like dice, and you read them based on their landing placement. I don't know anything about this. I've never done it myself, but I know that it's a thing. So anyway,
sounds like you've done it.
I haven't done it. I'm not into keeping animal bones around.
And you throw them and you say Yahtzee.
Yahtzee! I love Yahtzee. I am so good at Yahtzee. I know it's a game of pure chance and no skill, but I seem to be lucky with Yahtzee. Not so much with bone casting, though.
Okay, so you have played.
No, I haven't. I really haven't. It's have you ever seen
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Liar's Dice? Pirates Dice.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's a great game. No, I was thinking runes. I'm sure you've seen a movie or a TV show or something where they've got runes and they shake them and toss them.
No.
I mean, runes have actual symbols and meanings on them. But anyway, that's what bone casting is.
Okay.
Just in case you were curious. I know you weren't, but...
I wasn't, but I feel educated, so thank you.
You're welcome. So, Miss Calendar is wrong, snobby. You think the realm of the mystical is limited to ancient texts and relics? That bad old science made the magic go away? The divine exists in cyberspace, same as out here. And so Giles says, are you a witch? And she goes, no, I don't have that kind of power. Techno-pagan is the term.
That's like you.
I knew you were going to say that. I have never, ever used the term techno-pagan, nor have I ever heard anybody else use the term techno-pagan.
I like it, though.
To me, I just think of witches dancing to techno music. We've got, like,
around a cauldron.
Broomsticks.
Yeah.
No, I think she's referring to, like, we kind of learn a little bit more about this later, but basically, like a witch, rather than like a witch coven meeting in person, like they can meet over the internet kind of thing.
They just meet online.
So Giles is pretty much just grateful that he now has someone who can understand and help him.
Yeah.
Buffy calls Giles from a payphone, so that was a thing that's obsolete now.
I love seeing payphones in media. I do.
I feel like there's still some out there.
There are.
It's a rare find.
There's one in my town.
Yeah?
It's like inside the town hall.
Oh, like a little phone booth?
I don't even know if it's a phone booth. I think it's just like hanging up on the wall there. Throw a quarter in the slot,
like it's hanging up like a relic, like it's in a museum kind of a thing. Like, this is what a payphone used to be.
Yeah, it's roped off. You can't touch it. Please don't touch the payphone. I miss them.
Do you? Will you use payphones a lot?
No, I just like the idea of a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
But
I like the idea that there's a small private space of which you can go in. You can change your outfit like Superman would.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You could just have a moment to yourself.
Yeah. Just take a breather.
Stay out of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a phone call. I like small spaces.
You do?
Yeah.
You're not claustrophobic? Like
Not
if you were in a small
at all.
space?
I am the opposite of claustrophobic, where the idea of getting into a small space excites me.
Oh.
Strange, huh?
So you're claustrophilic.
Well, let's not put it that way, because that makes it seem weird.
No, that's what it is. Like hydrophilic is water loving.
Right.
You're
But I still don't like the term.
Claustrophilic. Because you associate it with
like it has a sexual connotation to it.
Because
when I get into a small space, I love it.
Pat's this episode alternate title is going to be
Digital Darkness.
Digital Darkness and Pat's love of small spaces.
People be like, what the hell is this podcast?
I got to write that down. All right. Anyway, Buffy's at a payphone. She calls Giles to check in. She tells him that Willow wasn't at home and that they should hurry in getting Moloch offline. Willow wakes up in a lab where Fritz and a scientist are standing nearby and a computer lights up. There's a voiceover. Welcome, my love. I can't tell you how good it is to see you with my own two eyes. And then a robot clamps onto the computer and it's Moloch the robot. Demon.
So he was a robot. Yeah,
or now
he was
he
a
is.
robot. Yeah. Okay.
Now he is. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, why? You didn't think he was a robot?
Well, he looks like a demon/robot. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? It just looked like Power Rangers to me.
It does definitely look like Power Rangers. I give you that.
Yeah. Like bad guy
I
in Power
guess I
Rangers.
just called him a robot because he's in a metal box.
Well, also the name of the episode is iRobot. Eugene
Yeah,
or something.
right.
What is it? iRobot.
Yeah, iRobot Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense.
So he starts talking about how great it is to have a body. And then he just snaps Fritz's neck. That's
right in
that's
front
his
of her.
move. Yeah.
Showing
like,
her how much he
"Here you
loves her.
go."
He's like, see that? I just kill Fritz.
Yeah. He was on the Fritz.
He was
Now
definitely on the
he's
Fritz.
dead. Buffy jumps over a fence gracefully, and then Xander not
Xander
so
falls.
much.
Yeah.
just the little things, you know?
Yeah.
Then we see Miss Calendar lighting some candles. She says they have to form a circle.
Yeah. Very romantic.
And Giles is like, there's just two of us. We'll only form a line. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, we're going to do it on the internet, dummy. Basically.
Right.
So she
Paraphrasing.
reaches out to her techno coven. I just made up that term. She doesn't say that. to form
Right.
a circle on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Willow is not having any of Robot Moloch's shit.
No, and he loves her.
He
professes
loves
his love.
her, and she's
Yeah.
like, "You don't love me. You don't love anything." Something
Right.
like that.
And he's like,
Buffy-
I can see everything.
Buffy punches out a security guard. Then she sees Willow and Robot Moloch on a security camera.
Mm-hmm.
Alarms start going off, and some type of gas starts pouring into the room where Buffy and Xander are trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut to Miss Calendar and her fellow techno-pagans are ready to form the circle. So Giles starts dictating the binding spell to Miss Calendar, and she types it to her group.
First, he says, can't you stop Moloch by uploading some sort of computer virus? And then she says, you've seen way too many movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great because that same year, here's a piece of trivia for you.
Oh.
Same year, 1990. Oh, wait, maybe it's not the same year. It's either 96 or 97. So the year before was when Independence Day came out.
Yeah.
And if you remember at the end of Independence Day,
I do.
spoiler alert for Independence Day, but the way that they beat the aliens is Will Smith and who's the other guy? Jurassic Park guy? What's his name?
I want to say Tommy Lee Jones, but that's the
No,
wrong
it's not
alien
Tommy Lee
movie.
Jones.
Wrong alien movie. It's MIB.
Dr. Malcolm from Jurassic Park. Why is his name not coming to me? The Fly. The Dr. Ian Malcolm.
You want me to just IMDb it? Malcolm, you say?
Oh, God, this is going to drive me freaking insane.
I'm going to IMDb it, and I'll give you a hint. I won't tell you what it is. I'll give you a hint.
Just give me the first letter and I'll get it.
All right. Oh, what? He was in it?
Yeah.
No, that's the president. That's not who you're thinking of.
No, not the president.
Oh, there's a statue of him, temporary statue of him with his
give me-
chest out.
Yeah, give me the first letter of his name.
J.
J?
J.
Give me his initials. Jesus, this is driving me. I'm so old.
JG. Not silver, but
Gold? Jason Goldenrod.
oh my God. Are
Hang
you
on.
serious?
I know. Oh my God. What is wrong with my brain today? Oh.
When a when leaves open up to make a flower, it is called
It blossoms.
another word is
Bloom. Gold bloom. John?
yep, it's definitely
James?
John.
Justin? Janice?
It's Janice Goldblum. Yep.
All right, what's his name?
No, you gotta find it. You're so close. I've given you so many clues. Just picture Jurassic Park.
I know the whole movie. I know everything about Jurassic Park and Independence Day. I'm a huge Goldblum fan.
Oh, sure. Except you don't even know his name.
Oh my God. I can't think of his first name. This is driving me literally insane. I'm losing my mind right now.
I know, it's fun to watch.
Oh.
You are not looking it up, sir. You are not looking it up.
I can't do this anymore.
It's
Put me
Jeff.
out of my misery.
It's Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, my God. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, shame.
Wow.
Shame.
That was something. Yeah, take
It
a
was
breather.
cold down here, and now I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum. I'm so sorry.
So, anyway, what did Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum do?
All right. So what happened was they uploaded a virus. That was worth it.
Okay. So that's probably, so they were probably referencing Independence Day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, although I had the IMDb page open and I did not check what year it was made.
96. That's my final answer.
Yep, 96.
Boom. Nailed it.
At least
I
you
can
got
get the
that
year, I
right.
just can't get Jeff. Jesus.
That was really funny.
That was not. I'm very unproud of myself.
All right. So Giles dictates the binding spell to Miss Calendar. Miss Calendar types it into her group. Willow tells Moloch to let her leave, that she is not his. He gets sad and he's just like, And then he's like, Moves on very quickly. Xander starts to pass out from the gas that's being put into the room that he and Buffy are trapped in. Moloch puts his hand on Willow's head to snap her neck.
Yeah.
But then he starts going haywire as the binding spell progresses.
I like how while Giles is doing the incantations to kill the demon, and he's screaming like, I command you! And he's
the power of Christ compels you!
I like how he's getting louder and more passionate, but that's
what you do.
Yeah, but that's not really making any difference because Miss Calendar just needs to type it in. So she's like,
chill out, bro.
And she's like, okay, I already have the caps lock on.
Volume, Rupert.
Yeah, come on, Rupert. I'm trying to type.
Well, the computer starts like smoking and sparking and stuff, so maybe it is getting loud in there. You know?
Maybe. Okay,
he's
so
just
he's like yelling
really
over
into it.
The chaos.
That's what you
maybe.
Do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would be kind of a lackluster scene if he was just sort of like, so I command you. Yeah, make sure you capitalize the C there. Oh, just backspace. It's an M. Like if he was low key, just low energy, it wouldn't be the same scene. You got to up the intensity.
Yeah. I mean, it's an intense thing. Even if you're not right there with the monsters, it's intense stuff that's going on.
True.
So Buffy jumps in, kicks Moloch, but lands right on the ground. She's like, oh, okay.
That guy's made of metal.
Yep. And then Xander punches out the scientist guy, which I was like, very proud moment for Xander there. He's like, I hit someone.
Yeah, he's very proud of himself. He had a moment.
Yeah. Miss Calendar's computer sparks and starts smoking. The screen is flashing. And, Moloch is out of the net, but also not in the book. Uh-oh. He's bound into his robot body.
He is.
So then Buffy, Xander, and Willow are trying to escape from CRD. Moloch busts through a wall and knocks out Xander.
Very Terminator.
Yep. Willow grabs a diesel-looking fire extinguisher and starts hitting him. And she's like, I think it's time we break up. Moloch tosses her to Xander, goes to punch Buffy, but she ducks, and he instead punches a circuit board, electrocuting himself and blowing off his robot head.
Yeah, lots of electricity gags in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be. Next day at Sunnydale High, Giles walks into the computer lab to thank Miss Calendar and return a piece of jewelry to her. She asks, why he doesn't like computers, and he says, he's basically like the smell. She goes, they don't smell. And he says, I know. Smell is the most powerful trigger to the memory there is. A certain flower or a whiff of smoke can bring up experiences long forgotten. Books smell musty and rich. It's like 20 ands.
Yeah.
The knowledge
is poetic.
Yeah. The knowledge gained from a computer it has no texture, no context. If it's there and then it's gone. If it's to last, then the getting of knowledge should be tangible, should be smelly.
I'm with Giles on this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Giles and I would bond over physical media. I'd be like, hey, bro, you got to check out my DVD Blu-ray wall. He'd be like,
yes, and then he'd be like,
do
you
have
any
smell of
books?
a Blu-ray.
Get out.
I'd be like, yeah, I got books too, but it's much smaller shelf.
And then he'd be like, you should see my records.
I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll see myself out.
Miss Calendar says, well, you really are an old-fashioned boy, aren't you? And he says, well, I don't dangle a corkscrew from my ear. And she goes, that's not where I dangle it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I don't know what she's implying, but... Whew.
Yeah.
Buffy, Willow, and Xander are sitting by the fountain, thinking about going to the Bronze. Willow is kind of moping, wondering what it says about her that the only boy who's liked her turned out to be a demon robot.
Yeah.
Buffy counters that she's into a vampire, and Xander says the teacher that he liked was a praying mantis.
Right.
Which cheers Willow up. And then Xander says, that's life on a Hellmouth. Buffy says, let's face it, none of us are ever going to have happy, normal relationships. And Xander says, we're doomed. They all laugh and then immediately get depressed.
Yeah, cut.
And that's the end
cut
of that
credits.
episode.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, holiday shopping is coming up. Have you given any thought to gifts?
Don't remind me. I do have to do a lot of gift shopping, but perhaps you could help me with that? Maybe I could get some Florapothecary items or something?
Like some more whipped body butter or facial care stuff?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that whipped body butter is the bee's knees. It keeps my hands so soft during the winter, and I recommend it to everybody. I definitely will get a few of those. And I gotta get some of that acne stuff too, because I'll tell you what, my face has been super clean. How can I get some of your stuff?
Well, as you know, Pat, you can always shop online at florapothecary.com, and I can either ship to you or ship directly to your recipient, and I can even do a nice little handwritten gift note for you if you'd like. We did that once for your mother-in-law for Mother's Day, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a nice personal touch you always add to the packages. We're always excited to get the Florapothecary packages.
Thank you. But I also have my studio open select Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in Meriden, Connecticut. So if you're local to CT, you can always book a personal shopping appointment at florapothecary.com. If you don't know what to get for the natural beauty on your list, you can always get a gift card. Shop online or book a personal shopping appointment at florapothecary.com. And hey, even if you don't shop with me, shop local, listeners. This was a rough year for small businesses, and we could really use your support this holiday season.
Cool. All right, let's get into Lost. Lost Season 1, Episode 8, Confidence Man, originally aired on November 10th, 2004. This is directed by Tucker Gates and written by Jeffrey Lieber.
Oh, a Jeff.
A Jeff, yes. I might cut out that whole section earlier. That was just so embarrassing.
Oh, okay. So we can make fun of me and how I say things, but can't make fun of the fact that you don't remember Jeff Goldblum.
I say a lot of weird stuff too. You just don't call me out on it.
Yeah, maybe I'm a nicer person than you.
I think you are.
You have some more digital darkness than I do.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
It's just veiled by my digital darkness. Okay, so the episode Lost starts out with Kate. Hold up, Paddywack.
Oh,
predictions. Did you just call me Paddywack?
Yes, I did.
Knick-knack, Paddywack?
Give a dog a bone. Throw some bones.
Throw some bones.
Throw me a
at
bone.
The wall. Yeah.
So like I can do some scrying. My predictions.
What are you scrying about?
There's no scrying in baseball.
Quit being a scry baby. For scrying out loud.
I don't have any more.
Okay.
So my predictions were Claire having her baby countdown, 2 more episodes.
Okay.
So I said that last episode. I said there would be 2 more episodes. So after this one, it's 1 more.
Okay.
And I said that I think we were going to get Saeed or Sawyer's backstory next.
You were right.
I was. I think that Locke is somehow possessed by the Eye of the Island. And I said that I don't think that Saeed is dead, but I also think that the person that hit Saeed is a new character we haven't met.
Interesting. Okay.
So, those were my predictions.
Good predictions, fun predictions. So
Best
this
predictions?
episode opens with Kate. She's walking with a bundle of nanners on her back.
Yeah. Which
Is that what they were?
That's what they looked like to me. I was like, how did you not find these before?
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of Chiquita, girl. So I thought
You
they were
never put
either
the
nanners.
banana in the refrigerator.
They're either those or plantains.
Yeah.
But plantains are smaller, aren't they?
They are.
Okay. So I think they're nanners.
I think so too.
So she comes across a pile of clothes and a book, and it's Sawyer's because he's off swimming in the water all naked-like. Mm-hmm. He's skinny dipping, and he walks out of the water right in front of her.
Yeah, so I look at, I said out loud, okay, it's going to be Sawyer's backstory that we get in this episode. And Dave said, and backside.
Ew.
Ew.
So then we get a flashback of Sawyer, and he's making love with a woman. And they talk about how he has a meeting at 3:30, and he tries to rush out the room, and he drops a suitcase full of cash.
He tries to rush out of what?
His room.
He tries to drink all of his rum.
No, he tries to walk out of his room.
He's trying to walk out of a bottle of rum?
Oh, excuse me. I meant to say he walked out of his room. Just gonna add some Mrs. Doubtfire flair to it, and it sounds normal again. So he drops, hello, my room. He drops his suitcase full of cash, and then he said, "You weren't exactly supposed to see that." Ooh, I just sound like McConaughey there.
Oh yeah, you
I'm gonna
did.
take my shirt off.
All right.
So Sawyer walks. Now we're back in the jungle. He walks through the jungle. He hears some crashing around, and he stops, and then he starts to run, and then he finds Boone rifling through all his stuff. He doesn't like that.
He does not like that.
Jack is fixing Saeed's head, as Jack does. He loves all the medical stuff. And Saeed tells Jack about the antenna transceiver action and how he got hit from behind, but he didn't get a look at the person.
He said, I think he says I didn't get a look at the guy or the man. He makes reference to a man, which made me think, I was like, calling it, it's not going to be a man, it's going to be a woman who hit Saeed.
Okay.
Maybe the French woman.
Because that's what the show does. It likes to flip your expectations.
Yeah, they're trying to red herring me, and I'm not having any of that red herring.
Not having it, huh? Okay.
I don't like fish.
Right. Someone broke the equipment, and Boone gets dragged into Jack's cave infirmary at this point, his urgent care, and he's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Sawyer." And then we get the Lost title right after that. Then we cut to a scene with Claire on the beach.
Art.
Amazing After Effects that you love so much. Claire on the beach with Charlie. Charlie brings her some water, and they chat as they do.
They're so cute. I want to see them get together.
Charlie wants her to come to the caves and live with him, and Claire's like, "I like the beach, Charlie."
Well, okay, he's not like, "Come live with me, and I want to take care." Like, it's not like a proposal to move in together, be boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, I feel like you kind of made it sound that way. It's not like that.
Yeah, that was not my intent. He wants her to move up to the caves and like live by herself in the caves.
Right.
But I think closer to Charlie.
He's just trying to protect her.
Right.
Trying to take care of her, but
he probably thinks that the caves are more safe, more secure. Jack's up there, the urgent care's up there. So, you want to be up there.
Yeah. Right, cuz who's going to deliver her baby down by the beach?
Exactly. So, and he mentions that. Claire, she's like, "No, I like the beach." And she's also still thinking that they'll get rescued, which Charlie doesn't seem to think that is really the case.
No, but he also, doesn't say anything. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to poo-poo all over her.
Right, because we don't want to lose hope.
Right.
Boone tells Jack about Shannon's inhaler running out because of her asthma, which was kind of a secret because Shannon doesn't want anybody to know that she has asthma because it's a bad look.
So uncool.
So uncool. I have asthma, and it is kind of uncool when you're like just out of breath and you're like, I just gotta grab my inhaler because goddamn 80s and 90s movies made it like all the dorks had
asthma.
The inhaler. Yeah, and it's like, oh, hold on, my asthma. I gotta take me puffer.
My mother and younger sister have asthma.
Yeah, and
so it looks this very uncool when they use their inhaler.
Yeah, so this episode was pretty tough when I see Shannon like really struggling to breathe. Yeah. It's like, I know that feeling. It's not a fun feeling. It really sucks. It's the worst. So Boone thinks that Sawyer has the inhaler because he saw Soylent Green. He saw that Sawyer had the book Watership Down, which was Boone's book. So Boone had the book within the suitcase or whatever that had the asthma stuff.
He's like, he would have had to go in my suitcase to get the book, so he probably saw the inhalers because it was because Boone, was like, she never brings enough inhalers, medicine, so I always make sure that I bring it. And I was like, oh,
right. He's always taking care of Shannon. Yeah.
Yeah. She treats him like such shit.
So this causes Jack to approach Sawyer, and they have an altercation. And Sawyer, starts starts telling Jack off, as Sawyer does. He says, I don't know what kind of rules you're running up there, your commie rules up in Cave Town, but down here, possession is 9/10 the law, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we get a flashback. Sawyer is talking to the blonde girl again about using his $140,000 to invest in oil or something. Mm-hmm. Someone else is going to go in on the deal with him to make $300,000, basically turn it into $1 million. So the girl offers up.
That always works.
That always works. It's sound math. So the girl offers up her husband's money at this point.
The woman.
The girl?
The woman.
I can't say the girl?
No, girl
okay,
implies
she's a woman.
young,
Okay.
Don't say that.
All right. The blonde woman.
You're infantilizing her.
What's that mean?
Making her seem like a child.
Okay.
Infantilize. Infant-alize.
Okay. All right, so the woman offers up her husband's money.
There you go.
Now we're back on the island. Kate talks to Sawyer on the beach about what he wants for the inhalers. He's like, what do I want? Kiss how to do it. He wants a kiss.
Yeah.
And then Kate kind of calls him out at this point. She's like, you know what? I don't buy your act, Sawyer. She's like, no one's that disgusting. And she talks about the piece of paper that he carries around in his pocket. Mm-hmm. Then he gets pretty mad and he pulls out the piece of paper and he basically yells at her to read it. And she reads it, and it's written by a kid is what it seems. And it says, you had sex with my mother, then you stole my dad's money, and he got angry and killed my mother and himself too. One of these days I will find you and I'll give you this letter. And then he asks for his kiss again. She just sort of stands there like stunned. And then he's like, I didn't think so. And he walks away. So then we cut to Locke, who's sharpening a steak.
Yeah. He is sharpening a steak. Boom.
He is.
Crossover.
Yeah. Crossover, except
Locke
there wasn't
the
any
Vampire
steaks.
Slayer.
Yeah.
I have a note that says, oh shit, Sawyer, yep, you are an ass. But I honestly don't know what that was referencing. I just say that about him a lot.
I'm pretty sure that's just your default reaction to seeing Sawyer's face.
I don't know
now.
if it was like him telling Kate he wanted a kiss, or when it was revealed that he was sleeping with a woman who was married.
Right.
Although I don't know.
It could
if
have
he
been any
knew.
of these things.
I don't know if he knew that she was married. It's definitely her fault as much as his. But anyway.
Yep. So Locke's a vampire slayer, and then he talks with Saeed. And he has a wild theory about like a delayed fuse or something. Sawyer could have hit Saeed and like had this master plan of like setting off this delayed fuse or something like that. I'm like, that seems kind of out there.
Yeah, he says he could have used a cigarette to delay the lighting of the fuse because, you know, Saeed is like, there's no way he could have lit off the rocket and then come
right. It's like 2 kilometers.
Yeah. So Locke is like, sure. Have you ever heard of delayed fuse? They have them on TV all the time. He could have used a cigarette. Yeah. So I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, that's an interesting theory, but I don't think it was Sawyer. And I'm not a fan of Sawyer, but I don't think it was him.
I don't think he's that crafty.
Yeah, exactly.
Although he is a con man, is what we found out.
That's what we found out. But
who
even
knows?
as a con man, he's not that crafty. I
That's
think
true.
people are just very stupid.
Yeah, he's slick.
Yeah.
But he's not crafty.
So I wrote, my notes say maybe this is Locke's / the island's way of trying to get Saeed and Sawyer to work out their issues.
Maybe.
Because I have that theory that like the island is trying to get them to work out their traumas, their fears, their issues.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
because Locke is the island now, in my mind.
He's one and the same?
He's one.
He is the island?
He is the island. He's the one who's like, Jack, you need to go on this journey and find yourself. Sawyer or Saeed. Maybe it's Sawyer. Gotta confront him.
He gives Saeed a knife. Really nice knife. One of his 400 knives.
Yep.
Then we cut to a scene where Shannon is struggling to breathe. She's having a pretty rough asthma attack. Jack approaches Sawyer, and then he punches him this time. And Sawyer is
so
sort of
satisfying.
Sawyer asks for more. He's like, that all you got? And he doesn't fight back. It's like he's all bark and no bite.
Well, Jack punches him twice.
He does.
And then Sawyer says, is that all you got?
Right. So back to a flashback. Sawyer is having a business meeting with a blonde woman and her husband.
Oh my God. His slicked back hair and suit. He's just like the
so
greasiest,
hot.
sleaziest dude.
I thought,
No.
Yeah.
It was, I wanted to vomit everywhere. It was so gross.
So he plays it cool. He tries walking away from the deal, which of course makes the husband jump at the deal like, okay, fine, let's do it.
Yeah. He's like, you take the money, bring it home and see,
right.
hang on to it.
Right. And he's like, you know what? Never mind. I already got somebody lined up for this. And that's when the guy bites.
Yeah. FOMO.
Mm-hmm. So we cut back to the beach. Charlie and Claire hang clothes and talk about craving peanut butter. And then Charlie says, when I get you peanut butter, you have to move to the caves. So she wants peanut butter.
Yep.
There's not much more depth to that scene.
Nope.
Shannon is not breathing at this point. Jack tries talking her through the breaths, sort of calming her down, telling her about it being partially anxiety. Yeah,
so here, he's a surgeon. But he also knows how to cure asthma and fight anxiety attacks.
Yep.
So he's a real jack of all medical trades.
Oh, snap. Is that the first time we've
I think that is. Wow. I think that is.
Okay.
I was surprised too, but
yeah. Hurley says, wow, man, that was awesome. That was like a Jedi moment.
Yeah, that was cute.
Hurley's great. Saeed talks to Jack and tells him about the Republican Guard. Again, I feel like Saeed likes to drop this all the time, like, I was in the Republican Guard. It's like, okay, we heard this.
Did you know I was in the Republican Guard?
Yeah, we got it.
All right, man.
We got it, yeah. You're very tough. We understand. He says, give me 5 minutes with him. And Jack, he's like, okay, sure. Yeah, I agree to these extreme measures. Why not? Because, they own the island, so why not?
Yeah.
Hurley and Charlie walk through the jungle.
Is that where Kate sees and she protests, or does that not happen yet? Because there's one part where she says, if you do this.
I think she does.
And she doesn't finish her sentence. Yeah, so I wrote down.
I think you're right.
I wrote that down and I was like, what, Kate? Like, if they do this, what? Like, Sawyer is willingly letting a girl die for no reason. So what? What are you going to do about it, Kate?
So
I was just kind of pissed at how like judgy she was being at that moment. If you do this, what? You're a bad person?
This comes down to, what measures would you take to
do you
get
believe
what you
in
need?
Torture?
Right. Do you believe in torture?
The moral question.
So if you need to save somebody, is it worth torturing another soul to save this other person? Now, let's remember, if you're thinking about the big picture, Shannon, she hasn't really brought much to the group.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She doesn't have a lot going.
Yeah.
She has more going than Sawyer at this point, although Sawyer has
contributed
a little bit here and there.
But he's also he takes one step forward, then 3 steps back.
Right. He shoots himself in the foot a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's always saying mean things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely doesn't have the personality for the island.
I mean, I think if Shannon could step it up a little bit, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. I mean, did they need to jump directly to torturing him? Probably not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they needed to do... the whole episode, I was like, why don't they just fucking look in his stash?
Well, I think he has multiple stashes.
Yeah.
I think he has, like, that one that Boone was going through, which was probably the one that they had
Kate
already found before in a previous episode.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he has a bunch of stores around the island, where
like
he just digs up a hole. Like a little squirrel. Yeah, a little survivor squirrel.
Yeah.
They are going to torture him.
Too bad the gun has used up its bullets, and too bad the handcuffs are destroyed.
Yeah, I know. Way to go, Michael.
Yeah, what the hell was that about, Michael?
And the coffin is destroyed, too. from rage. So
they couldn't put him in the coffin.
No comfy bed for Claire or her baby.
Oh, I thought that you were where you were going with that was like they couldn't just shut Sawyer in the coffin. Like the boo box in Hook.
Oh, right, the boo box. That was the scariest part of Hook for me when I was a kid.
Oh, I know. They dropped scorpions in.
Yeah, I was like, that is my literal nightmare.
They could have turned the coffin into a boo box for Sawyer.
Boo box. What are you guys going to do?
Box.
Hurley just comes around the corner. Dude, what are you guys doing with that coffin? You got to make a bed? And then Jack's just like, we're going to make a boo box. Didn't you ever see Hook? So you're gonna like put people in there and like throw scorpions in? That's correct.
All right, dude.
All right, dude. I'll be over here. So yeah, they go to Sawyer and Saeed knocks him out after saying good morning. Sawyer wakes up in the jungle and Jack now asks for the inhalers and he basically says like it doesn't have to be like this.
Sawyer's tied up.
Yeah,
to
he's tied up.
Some bamboo or some kind of jungle
tree or something. Yeah, palm tree. And then Sawyer responds with yeah, it does. And then Saeed explains about the bamboo shoots being inserted under fingernails, another torture method. Yeah. So he starts to do that to Sawyer.
Yeah.
And Sawyer's basically just like, that's it? That's all you got? And then he starts egging him on. Jack tells Saeed to stop. Sawyer says, don't stop. I think my sinuses are clearing up.
Yeah.
So eventually, though, he gives in and he says, fine, I'll tell. He says, but only to her, to Kate.
Right.
Flashback, Sawyer plays pool with someone who he owes money to. And the guy basically just says, have my money and 50% tomorrow. Kate approaches Sawyer, who's tied up, and he asks for his kiss again. And she agrees this time. And she...
I was so disappointed in Kate.
I know. I was like, I was thinking about you the whole time during this. Just like, I wonder how Sammy's reacting to this scene.
I was not reacting well, is how I was reacting. So here's my thing. Like,
okay,
I like to know people's motivation, which is why when I talk to people who are irrational, I can't handle it. I just cannot deal with irrational people.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, okay, Sawyer's an ass. Putting that aside, what is his motivation? Why is he being an ass to them? Why isn't he just telling them where, the inhalers are? Why is he toying with Kate? And my thinking, the only thing that I could think of that makes some tiny little bit of sense to me is that his motive is to get people, primarily Kate, to stop trusting Jack and to see Jack as somehow threatening and not always a hero. I still don't really fully understand why, but that's the only thing that like seems to make sense to me. So he's like putting Jack in this position of now having to be like not the hero that's saving everyone, but the guy who's like letting someone get tortured and injured and going against, the code of the doctor, which is to do no harm.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is a pagan code as well. And
Techno-pagan?
And harm it none, do what you will. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure him out because he's got to have some kind of motive.
Yeah, he's very mysterious because he's hard to figure out. I'm trying not to give anything away.
Yeah, don't give anything away. But the whole the thing that really, I mean, a lot pissed me off about this episode, but Sawyer basically making Kate feel like she is the one preventing Shannon from breathing.
Yeah.
Because I forget exactly how he phrases it, but he's like implies that if she doesn't kiss him, then Shannon's gonna die, kind of a thing. And it's like,
right. It's
not Kate. Don't put this on her.
Yeah, he puts her in a really rough place. Like,
yeah.
She has to complete this task of kissing Sawyer.
Yeah, it just made me
in order
think
to save somebody on the island.
Just made me think of bad dudes.
Right, bad dudes.
Bad
dudes. This is a bad dude move.
Bad controlling dudes in controlling relationships where they make you feel like you're doing stuff wrong.
Right. So
not a fan.
That's Sawyer's MO, and she kisses him, and I was expecting, I didn't remember this kiss, but I was expecting like a little kiss.
Yeah, there was tongue.
This was a
lot of kissing.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a big kiss.
Yeah, this was like a Buffy angel kiss.
Yeah. Even deeper.
Yeah, because we didn't see any tongue there. Or maybe the camera was
just closer. Yeah, this was
it was
PG-13,
also dark and,
almost R-rated.
90s.
This is almost NC-17. So she kisses him, and then she sort of pulls away at the end, and he says, "I don't have it. I never did. The book washed up on shore." And she punches him and walks away.
That was amazing.
What a gut punch.
What? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Kate.
Yeah.
I wanted to stand up and slow clap.
So Saeed thinks Sawyer attacked him and destroyed the transceiver. And Sawyer gets out of his restraints and Saeed attacks him. And they tussle, and a knife goes into Sawyer's artery. I thought in this moment, there's never a dull day for Jack on this island.
I know.
He's got his hands full.
That's why he's always breathing so heavy.
Right, he's so busy. He's always running. So at night in the caves, Saeed comes back for some supplies, and Boone questions him. And Shannon's like, "Don't leave me, Boone."
I know, that was so heartbreaking.
Michael brings Sun some plants, and Sunboo.
I knew what they were right away.
So did Amy. She saw him.
Yeah.
She's like,
high five,
eucalyptus.
Amy. High five, Kitchen Witch.
Sunboo sees them talking, and Michael stands up to him. He's like, "Don't, dude, don't."
Yeah.
And he's like confused. Like, he's just like, "What's going on here?" Like, he doesn't get it. Sawyer tells Jack to let him die, basically, and he eggs him on, telling him that if the tables were turned, he would let Jack die.
Yeah, of course he would.
Yeah, Sawyer is very masochistic this episode. He's like, "Just kill me, just punch me, just stab me, let me bleed out, like just put things in my fingernails." Like, he wants to feel all the pain. Yeah, but he also wants kisses too. So
he also wants
I don't
kisses.
know. He also wants kisses on his boo-boos. So flashback, Sawyer's getting the couple's money, and the little kid, the couple's son, walks into the living room while he's getting the cash, and Sawyer basically just looks at him, and he decides to walk away from the deal. He's like, "Deal's off," and he drops the briefcase of the money as he walks out of the living room. So back on the beach, Kate talks with Sawyer about the letter. And she says, "You want to be hated." She basically puts it together that the kid in the letter is Sawyer because of the stamp on it and how it's, weathered or something. And Sawyer's not his real name. He basically just agrees. He's like, "I became Sawyer." And then that's when he says, "Don't you feel sorry for me?" And he yells her to get out.
Yeah. So the guy, when the scene where he's in the bar, I think the guy calls him Tex.
Yeah, he did call him Tex, but I was like, is that just like a, because he's like Southern, he's got a Southern accent?
Yeah.
Like, some people just name you Tex.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a con man, you could have like many aliases, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, so I didn't know if that was his name or not, but yeah. But then when he said, "Don't you feel sorry for me?" I was like, I just wrote, "I don't."
Yeah, it's going to take you a few moments to win over.
I think I said this in an episode before. I know I've said it to Dave where I'm like, they're building him up to be such an asshole that we're going to find out his backstory and like he's this, whatever, this awful tragic thing happened to him. And this awful tragic thing did happen to him, but he didn't have to turn into who he is. That's my thing. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
But that's like some deep, deep trauma, that could really mess you up as a kid. Who knows what your life could turn out.
Well, what I said to Dave is that I wrote these notes down under the which episode wins. I still can't stand him and have zero sympathy for him. It sucks his dad was murdered. His dad murdered his mom and then killed himself. And I 100% get wanting to like get revenge on the guy who did it, but he didn't have to turn into an asshole.
Right.
And like I said to Dave,
he didn't have to.
I was like, "Look at Batman." And then Dave was like, yeah, well, Batman was rich and raised by his butler. And I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, right.
That's fair.
Who knows
this
what the rest of his
was
life
not in that same
held.
situation.
Right. And we don't know the rest of the dominoes too. Like he could have went to a foster family, which even more messed up stuff happened,
Yeah.
And then, throughout his 20s, maybe he had like some sort of criminal underbelly life that he lived. Who knows? There's much more to his life that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's true. It's just, I don't know. Like we've all gone through trauma and I don't know.
It still doesn't excuse some of his
his shitty behavior. Like it still
behavior.
shouldn't. There's still a woman's life hanging in the balance.
Right. That's true. After that, Sun is rubbing a mixture of some sort on Shannon's chest, and now she's starting to breathe.
So
and
what's
that's
funny
when we find out
is
it's eucalyptus.
Earlier in the episode,
Yeah.
before, I don't know if it was when we saw her with the eucalyptus, or I think it's just when she first approaches Michael and says, I think I can help. I was like, she's going to grab some aloe because she's putting aloe on everything. Because aloe is great for so many things. It's like anti-inflammatory, helps with sunburn and all the kinds of stuff. And so I was like, she's probably going to like get some aloe, find some way to use aloe on her asthma. So then she's got, a mixture of aloe and eucalyptus, and she's putting it on her chest because eucalyptus is really good at opening up, your chest and your sinuses. And so I was like, oh, I guess maybe I'm Sun.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder
like a little mixture of Sun and Claire.
Yeah, so far you are Sun and Claire's love baby.
So there you go, Pat. Solve, okay? Making fun of me. You're making fun of me about how much I would contribute on this island, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a solve. Like, we're hungry. Here's a solve. Look at her.
Yep. So she helped Shannon breathe.
Yes.
So that was good. Claire wakes up.
Herbalism is important.
Yes, it is, especially on an island. Claire wakes up, and Charlie says she's moving to the caves, and she gets all excited because she thinks that he has peanut butter. Mm-hmm. Charlie pulls out an empty jar. It's he pulls a hook.
Yeah,
a second
that's
reference
what I
to
wrote.
hook.
I wrote down Charlie's doing the hook.
Yeah, he's pulling a hook. He's doing the old make believe peanut butter move, and
what?
Claire thinks it's
believe.
cute.
I thought you said maple leaf. I was like, what the hell is maple leaf peanut butter?
Make believe.
That's my favorite scene in Hook.
Well, yeah, with all the multicolored puddings.
the Lost Boys, and they make up the food and have the food fight.
I also love that scene.
Oh, so good.
It's great. So they pretend to eat peanut butter out of this empty jar.
Yep.
And Claire thinks it's cute. She plays along. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I know. She was not that upset.
Like if someone came up to me and was like, I have peanut butter, and I'm like, what?
What?
Are you kidding me?
Get the fuck out of here.
And then he pulls out an empty jar. I'd probably just trip him.
Punch him.
I wouldn't punch him, but I would be visibly upset.
Yeah. Well, she's very calm. I mean, like, earlier when they were talking, Charlie's like, you don't have anything that you're craving? And she's like, not really. I guess peanut butter.
Right. She's pretty content.
Yeah. So, I think she's just kind of a chill person.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Yeah. Nice and refreshing.
So Saeed is leaving the beach. He's sort of packed up his backpack or something, and he feels ashamed about what he did with Sawyer. So he feels like he has no right to be there. He's going to explore the island, and he leaves. Who's he talking to? Kate?
Yeah, he's talking to Kate.
So he says, I hope we meet again.
Yeah, that's ominous.
Kisses her?
He kisses her hand.
Okay, yeah, he kisses her.
Yeah, he's very gentlemanly about it.
He kisses her and heads down the beach. I'm like, he kisses her? But yeah, you're right. He kisses her hand. Yeah. I should have put hand there.
He's a gentleman.
Then we get a classical old lost slow-mo musical montage. Now you'll be happy that I'm reporting that this musical montage did not really do it for me.
Maybe because it's the 8th one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they've done enough of them, and this one was very by the numbers and kind of boring.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much to it. So it's just kind of like, we don't know how to end this episode. Musical montage. Oh.
Yeah, there's like not really anything happening.
So it seems like Lost likes to end its episodes with either musical montage like this,
or dramatic,
or a
close-up.
dramatic like cliffhanger. Guys, where are we? Boom.
Yeah, extreme close up on a face.
Right, guys, where are we? Boom. Credits. So that's the episode. And in the montage, yeah, I guess I'll just say quickly, Charlie and Claire walk together. Shannon and Boone sit and share water. Sawyer almost burns his letter, but then he doesn't. And then, this montage did not work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boring.
Okay. But the rest of the episode, I really like this episode. I really like Sawyer's backstory. I think it's interesting. I know you just don't like Sawyer.
I don't know. Again, it's like when they do backstories, there's just not enough depth yet. Like
right.
Sons,
they gotta string you along.
Well, Sons, I feel like was like a pretty complete story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they give you a lot of her backstory, and I feel like some of the other ones that we've seen is not a complete story.
Right. Well, Jack has like
just not as
multiple
satisfying.
flashback episodes too, so Sawyer might have multiple flashback.
Yeah, I mean,
episodes.
I'm assuming they probably all do.
Yeah.
Especially since you told me that like that's the main way of Lost moving the plot along is that we get, we're going to get flashbacks all the time.
Right. So favorite moments.
Yeah, what's your favorite moment of Buffy?
I really like when Buffy tries to kick the demon and it's kind of like bonk. We actually rewound it to rewatch that.
Rewound it?
We rewound it.
I guess it is still rewind.
Yeah, rewind.
Yeah.
You rewind.
It's just funny because you're not like actually winding up the tape.
Yeah, you're not winding up tape, but you are going backwards in the timeline. Yeah, we scrubbed backwards. I guess that would be the new streaming term.
Yeah.
We scrubbed backwards so I could rewatch her try to kick the demon robot. It was like, bonk. And she's like, ow, he's made of metal. So that's my favorite moment. But I also like the dark brooding stuff. I really liked Fritz. Like, there's a lot of moments. Fritz party was pretty good. I like the computer writing the suicide note. That was spooky.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah, I like that stuff. That was good.
I like the sort of depressing ending of the episode where they're all like, Buffy, Willow, Xander are like, yay, our love lives are doomed. Oh. Yeah.
Recapping their demon loves. Yeah.
But I also really love the introduction of Miss Calendar. I love that she seems like a little bit younger, definitely more hip and tech savvy. So she's like more hip, tech savvy female version of Giles.
Yeah. I wanted to start shipping Giles and Miss Calendar because I was like, oh, maybe they could get together, but I'm like, nah, the chemistry's just not there. They're not a good match for each other. So
that doesn't make your prediction?
Doesn't make my prediction.
All right.
If they start dating, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm not feeling the chemistry there.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see.
I guess so.
But I just thought that she, is another great example of a strong female role model. She's super smart. She's confident. She doesn't let Giles kind of scare her or like out knowledge her. She's the computer lab teacher, which we would probably traditionally associate with like a male role. And it's her connections as a techno-pagan that allow Moloch to be bound into his robot body for Buffy to kill him off. So
yeah, she basically saved the world.
Yeah, she saves this episode. But I guess if I'm picking a specific moment, I really like this scene in Giles' office when he's like telling her there's a demon on the internet, and she's just kind of like, yeah, I know, come on. Like,
Yeah, she's like, I'm aware.
I've been throwing bones, I know.
I've been scrying about this from the beginning.
Right. Or the last scene with her and Giles where she says that the ear isn't where she dangles her corkscrew.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be her neck, it could just be a necklace.
It could also just be her keychain.
Could be a keychain.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's some sexual tension right there.
Woo, doggy.
So, yeah, I like Miss Calendar a lot.
Yeah, she's cool.
What's your favorite moment of Lost?
Controversial. I like the kiss.
Oh, Pat. Is it just because you're a sap, right?
Nope.
And you just want to see Sawyer
I like
happy?
it because, no, let me explain.
Please
feel like...
explain it to me.
I feel like it's a very complicated kiss.
Because there's so much tongues and you have to know where to put your tongue.
For somebody who really doesn't want to kiss this dirty dirtbag,
yeah,
she put a lot into it. And
well,
it's almost
we saw
like
his tongue. We didn't see hers.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean,
I think I did see hers.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I might have to go back and rewatch it slow-mo.
Yeah, go back to the tape.
But no, I feel like at the end of it, she sort of pulled back like, well, I got to stop myself.
Okay.
Like, I felt like she was getting into it, so I feel like there's a little bit, there's something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's, he's the bad guy. You think you can change him.
Yeah.
You know, and my theory still holds that, Kate is some kind of femme fatale, probably killed a man who deserved it. So he was probably, so maybe she's drawn to dark dudes.
Maybe.
Dark, she thinks that she can change them. She can help them in some way.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
Yeah, I could see it. So many great moments of Sawyer getting his ass beat in this episode. It made me very happy. But
so dark.
I got to go with Kate punching him because...
After the kiss?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time coming.
So well deserved. Long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Okay.
I was very happy. Which episode wins?
I'm going to go with Lost. The Buffy episode, it just seemed after school Power Rangers to me. It just seemed like, I don't know. It's just like, I did like all the computer stuff though.
Yeah.
But I think the demon/robot thing at the end, like, I think that kind of ruined it for me. And the whole CRD, the whole office building, I don't know. There was a level of, I couldn't really believe in it. Not that this show in general is very believable, but just for some reason, it sort of lost me. It didn't feel quite like it was part of Sunnydale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm torn. I mean, it's hard because I really don't like Sawyer, obviously. So I'm like, I don't really care. But, of course I am interested because I'm interested in people's motivation and why they do what they do, which is why I, watch things about serial killers, because I'm just like, how the fuck did they get to this point in their life? Like, what happened to them? So I don't know. It's hard because I don't really want to give Lost the win because it is all Sawyer. And for Buffy, like, I agree. It's not, it's not the most compelling, whatever. It's interesting because Willow is finally the one who's like put in a situation of falling in love with the wrong guy,
I think that's the other thing.
But I
that
also
sort of
really
rubbed me.
love Miss Calendar. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Miss Calendar's cool, but I think that's the other thing that sort of wigged me out was that Willow was very unlike herself. I mean, I can understand under the circumstances because
Malik is a corruptor.
Right. Oh, that's true. He's the corruptor. But I don't know. I just felt like she's smarter than that. She would have known a little bit better. Or she would have dug into it a little bit more before going so head over heels for this guy.
Yeah.
And then missing classes. Come on, Willow.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it's very easy. I mean, I was always a girl who was like on time for class and, whatever, but I started playing video games in high school. Not World of Warcraft, but like a similar online multiplayer, massive multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG. I would stay up super late and then be like really tired the next day. And might have had an online boyfriend that I met through that game. Maybe not. We're not.
Did I have an online boyfriend that I met through that game? Maybe I did. I don't know.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
Especially like Willow has had this unrequited love for Xander for what sounds like pretty much their whole lives. And, so I think like it can be intoxicating when you get a little bit of attention. And that's also why sometimes, like the, girls go after the guy that's not right for you, and you kind of know that, but you're willing to risk it anyway because finally you feel like a little bit important, and guys do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think like that was definitely happening for her. Definitely the being really late and just like blowing off class, not cool. Definitely like very out of character, but that's also what is like a huge red flag for Buffy. It's not like Willow had plans to meet him alone somewhere, Right. Like I think that would have been
She didn't let it get that far. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was sort of an innocent relationship still.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'll give it to Lost because it was just really great to see Sawyer get punched a lot. Jeez.
So much hatred for Sawyer.
Maybe I'll change. But again, like, I don't understand his motivation. Like, I get, like, and Dave and I talked about this a little bit. And he's like, it just sounds like he wants to be hated because he did a bad thing. And so, whatever. And I'm like, okay, but that is, like, fine. Be hated for that thing, but don't risk a girl dying by playing some crazy mind games if you don't want to do nice things for other people, which frankly would make up for the shitty things that he's done, then fine, but don't be outright unhelpful when it comes to life and death.
Right.
And then, like, it's like, why help Saeed with the transceiver, but then almost let Shannon die?
I think, here's the thing, though. If he actually doesn't have the inhalers, it's not like he can save her anyways.
No, but he doesn't have to fuck around and, like, you know what I mean? He could just be like, look, I really don't have them, but I will help you look for them.
Right. Okay. I see your point.
Like, he's intentionally toying with everyone, making them...
I think he does want somebody to end it for him. I think he is, at this point, at the end of his rope, and he's like, I'm just a bad dude. I deserve whatever is coming to me.
Well, I guess he needs to find a block of ice then.
Predictions. What are your predictions?
What are your predictions?
Why do I always gotta go first?
Because Buffy is alphabetical.
Buffy predictions. My Buffy predictions are: I predict that Miss French and... Sorry, not Miss French. Miss Calendar.
You really want her to come back.
Yeah, I do. Miss Calendar and Giles won't get together because I just don't want it to happen. And Willow will not have another online boyfriend. After this, she's going to be scarred. Yeah, she's like, never again will I meet a boy over the internets. I will always meet him in the flesh.
That could be it. You don't have to.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
I don't have anything good.
All right.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in Lost, my Claire baby countdown is one more episode. So basically not the next episode, but the one after.
Okay.
And I think that we're going to get Saeed's backstory next. Just from the fact that we kind of like, we didn't start with him. We started with Sawyer, but he was sort of like next. And then, he walks away at the end. I feel like we're going to get his backstory next. Okay. But I don't think that we're going to find out who hit him just yet. I don't think he's going to figure that out in the next episode. I don't know what he's going to figure out on his travels alone.
He's going on his walkabout around the island.
But I definitely feel like we're going to get his backstory.
That would be like the first thing I would do as a survivor on the island.
Go on a walkabout?
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, who wants to come with me? We're going to do some camping. We're going to stay on the shores, and we're going to move around the perimeter of the island. If we see anything cool, it'll most likely be on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. And then we'll work our way inside. We'll start mapping.
Yeah, that's something that I have thought about as well. Did we talk about that? Maybe we have. I don't know. But
probably.
I do feel like...
Who knows what we talk about in these things?
Yeah, I do feel like it's, no one's really interested in mapping out the island that much. And I mean, I guess you got to get your priorities of food and water first. And then now that you've got a whole bunch of nanners and...
You got some nanners, you got some water, from the spring, and you got some boar jerky.
Yeah. So you can take it on the road.
Yeah, time to take it on the road. But they're probably scared of the diners.
Here go again on my own. Down the only road I've ever known.
But there's no roads. It's just a beach.
Going down the only beach I've ever known.
Right. So I actually wrote this down because I made an observation yesterday.
That you don't care about this part of the podcast?
No. I think it's fine. But normally, as I've said in multiple episodes, normally I watch more movies than TV.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
lately,
it's watching.
I've been watching much more TV than movies, and I'm kind of sad about that.
Oh, why? More like, is it just because you're watching Buffy and Lost, or are you watching like other shows too?
Other shows too. So check this out. I'm currently watching 5 shows.
What?
Yeah, I know. So I'm watching Lost and Buffy, of course.
Right.
I'm also watching The Queen's Gambit.
Okay,
which is,
that's right. We talked about that.
Limited series, so I know it's going to end. It's finite. I can deal with that.
Yeah, well, all of these are.
I'm still watching Community, which we're still in the
Right.
second season, but we watch those, we'll watch like 1 or 2 a night sometimes. And then I'm also watching The Mandalorian, which came back for season 2.
Oh, I still haven't watched that yet.
It's awesome.
I don't even think Dave has.
If you like a Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't, but I do like Baby Yoda.
Do you guys have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should totally watch it. It's like Star Wars movies.
Yeah, that sounds great. It's like when I tried to watch the Hobbit movies,
those are great too.
I would like the only things I cared about, the only scenes I cared about were the ones that Lee Pace was in.
Right. Because he's dreamy.
I love him.
Actually, we did watch one movie this past week. We watched Crazy Stupid Love on our anniversary.
Oh, I like that movie.
Yeah, we did too. It's fun.
Have you seen it before?
We saw it once before when it first came out, but both of us did not remember it. I only remembered like a scene or two.
Yeah.
So
happy anniversary.
and we laughed.
When was your anniversary?
The 20th.
Oh.
11 years. What's up?
Wow. Of November?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got married in November?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Happy anniversary. Do you still celebrate your dating anniversary too?
No. It's technically on the 1st of January.
Mm-hmm.
And this year it will be 15 years.
Oh, did you like kiss? Did you like kiss? Kiss?
I don't want to get into it.
When the ball dropped and you were like, well, now that's it. I hooked you.
Yeah. I
reeled
don't know,
you
something
in.
like that. Something like that. So what have you been watching?
It's okay.
Listening
Mine
to,
and
reading?
Dave's dating anniversary is Valentine's Day, so technically
oh, yeah.
day
That's
before.
worse. That's way worse.
I know.
Would you guys give each other like a little candygram that says, will you be mine?
Oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
No, I don't want to know.
So I'm not really reading much right now. We have been watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which this show would be your hell, your absolute hell. And I love it. It's okay. So it's about, I put off watching it for a long time because I was like, this seems like too over the top, even for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, listening to a lot of NPR. That's pretty much it. When I'm not listening to our podcast.
Ooh, I got a great podcast to shout out. Team Deacons.
Team Deacons.
This is
a church podcast.
Nope, it's a cinematographer's wet dream. It's Roger Deakins, who is one of the best master cinematographers, who shot Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
He shot a lot of Coen Brothers movies. He shot Skyfall. He is a fantastic cinematographer. So
that one?
It's him and his wife. Yes, it's him and his wife, and they interview other cinematographers and directors and costume designers.
Oh, cool.
And they always turn it back on him, too, and ask him questions because everybody wants to talk to Deakins. So it's very cool. And I love it so much.
Nice. I know. It's been a while. I think just because I'm not driving that much, I really don't listen to podcasts a whole lot anymore. I miss Dax.
Right. Now you got to listen to ours every week.
I got to listen to ours, and keep up with all my other TV.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this riveting discussion of these episodes, Lost and Buffy. You can listen and subscribe to us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. Also Google. What is it? Google Podcasts?
Google Podcasts, yep.
Google Podcasts. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars if you have the time. We would much appreciate appreciate that.
Much obliged. And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at KickstreamPod, and send emails, but please no spoilers, to kickstreampod@gmail.com. You can also check out show notes for this and every episode at kickingstreaming.com. And remember, friends, streaming is always better with friends. Oh no, I said friends twice.
Streaming is better with friends, pals.
Good job, Pat. I'm so glad you finally said it.
I swung right in there and I fixed
saved
it up
the
for
day.
you. Saved the day.
What a hero.
Bye.
Bye.